In this video, we're going to be speaking on the centers that the New York Knicks should sign if we don't make any trades. Now, if y'all know, there aren't many options and free agents that we have available left on the market because, Goga just got signed, James Wiseman. A lot of these big man centers are going away, Mo Wagner. Now we're stuck with just very minimal options. Now, the options that I just listed, those guys aren't any superstars. Yes, they are young, but so is Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson is only 26 years old. He has not entered his prime yet. I understand that the panic is on because we lost a great center in Isaiah Hartenstein. And yes, Mitchell Robinson is injury prone. I don't think we should give up on Mitchell Robinson, but I understand that the NBA is a business. If there's a deal that the front office feels like we can get better with, then go for it, But if it's just for something simple, nothing too crazy, I don't think we should force it. And I mean so with deals including Mitchell Robinson. But if we can get centers while keeping Mitchell Robinson, maybe making him our backup big or starting him with very minimal minutes, then that'll work. But enough with the chatter. Let's get into these free agents, y'all. All right, so coming up first, we got JaVale McGee. And I don't mean he's our first best option, so don't take this video that way in order or anything like that. But JaVale McGee is a very solid big. Yes, he is up there in age and most likely will be our third rotation center. He's still a very solid big man to throw onto our team with the knowledge and experience that he has being a champion. He isn't just a one-time champion, a two-time champion, he's a three-time champion. I feel like even though he may not provide a lot of minutes to our squad, he'll be a great mentor to guys like Mitchell Robinson and Jericho Sims. And like I said, the centers we got are just now entering their prime or coming close to entering their prime. Giving them a center like JaVale McGee who has the experience will help these guys develop a role in how to win a championship, because that's the goal for this team. That's the ceiling for this team, is a championship. You don't got to be the best center or the best player on your team to contribute, to win an NBA championship. Not everybody is going to be the best player on the floor. Whether it's the body and size in Mitchell Robinson or the athleticism in Jericho Sims, that can contribute to an NBA championship. Now, our next option may be Noel. Yes, he's been in the orange and blue before. The former 6'10" lottery pick may appear to some as a bust. In the last 2 seasons that he's played, he's only played 42 games. Why is that, you ask? Injuries. Noel is only 30 years old. But with the very limited options we have, I wouldn't mind him being our backup center. But now we'd have 2 guys that are injury prone. And what happens if they both go down? Mitchell Robinson's out and hurt. Noel's out and hurt. And we know Thibs like to play these guys. Thibs like to give these guys minutes. Unfortunately, these aren't the guys you want to do that with. Just like JaVale McGee, I don't see Noel giving us more than 15 minutes a game. I don't see JaVale McGee giving us more than 10 minutes a game. And the thing about Noel is I don't think he would have that role. He would play a better role than JaVale McGee in helping our young guys develop. However, this is just an option, like I said, and we're very limited. But if it all comes down to it, I wouldn't mind seeing Noel back in orange and blue. Now, this next big man who just got released by the 76ers, I wouldn't really want to call him an option, especially after he called us the easier option in the playoffs and we still beat him. We got Paul Reed. Now, I'm not really a big fan of Paul Reed, only because of his size. If we're going to go with a 6'8", 6'9" center, we might as well re-sign Precious Achiuwa. Now, you guys in the comments might say otherwise, and I might just be being biased because of his statement in the playoffs, but I'm not going to go too much in depth on Paul Reed, but he is an option now after being waived by the 76ers. All right, so officially next up, we got Demarcus Cousins. Now, at one point, he was the best center in the NBA. Now, I know it doesn't have much to do with his game today, especially because he's playing in Taiwan. No, not knocking his hustle, because, whether if you're playing overseas or in the NBA, you're still a great player. But if it all came down to it, I wouldn't mind seeing Demarcus Cousins come off of our bench. I wouldn't classify him as a stretch big or a shooting big, but he would definitely help us space the floor out a little bit. Now, the downfall of his career has been injuries, but I think he can make a big impact just giving us about 15 to 20 minutes a game off the bench, backing up Mitchell Robinson. We won't need him for much defense because, he's not the best defensive center. Using him for offensive purposes like pick and rolls and pick and pops, that may help us out a lot. He turns 34 in August, so he's not as old as JaVale McGee. Demarcus Cousins was averaging about 25 and 15 in the finals in Taiwan. Now, I know the competition isn't the same. He's still going. If he can give us half that, or at least half that, he would play a big role on this Knicks team. However, the chances of him coming back to the NBA and getting those minutes that he's seeing in Taiwan are very little. However, if he was given an opportunity to come back to the NBA, I think him coming to the Knicks would be a very good fit. Now, last but not least, we got Dwight Howard. Now, he's the oldest one of these free agents that we have listed here. But if there's somebody that does have the experience, it's Dwight Howard. Just like DeMarcus Cousins, at one point, Dwight Howard was the best center in the NBA. He's an NBA champion, and he's still desperate and hungry to come back into the NBA. Now, I ain't gonna lie, Dwight Howard does come with a lot of controversy. I'm not here to judge though, but if we can combine almost all of these bigs that we have listed, like JaVale McGee as being a mentor, and then DeMarcus Cousins being a solid offensive attribute to the team, and then guys like Noel and Paul Reed, I think Dwight Howard can do it all. I think he can be a very solid mentor with him being a former NBA champion, with him having the size like Mitchell Robinson, and him previously having the athleticism like Jericho Sims. He can mentor both of these guys and help them out very well. If Dwight Howard were to come to the New York Knicks and give us about 10 to 15 minutes a game, that wouldn't be bad. But I still think that the Knicks need a big that can shoot the ball pretty well. And this is just based off of free agents or guys not currently on the NBA team. You know, these guys coming off of our bench would be pretty solid. You know, if we're going to go for, like, all the best available free agent centers we're already taking. The Knicks had their eyes on a couple of guys like Goga. And right now they have guys on Walker Kessler and Nick Richards. But if we aren't able to trade for those guys, I think we should still try to sign a veteran big. And I would put emphasis on Dwight Howard, DeMarcus Cousins, and maybe JaVale McGee. This Knicks team could very much benefit with a center. And once again, we're not knocking Mitchell Robinson. If there's a way that we can make Mitchell Robinson our backup big, that would be amazing. If we can get guys like Walker Kessler and Nick Richards once again. I had those guys in fantasy, and I was keeping an eye out. And I know fantasy doesn't determine basketball, obviously. But like Walker Kessler wasn't really playing as much minutes in Utah. And Nick Richards, he turned up at the end of the season, especially once like Marvin Williams, news came out he wasn't coming back. Nick Richards was playing very well. So if we can get those guys are still young, I wouldn't be mad. But as long as we're not giving up too much, especially including Mitchell Robinson, because then who's going to back those guys up, you know? So if we already gave up 5 to 6 picks for Mikal Bridges. I'm not saying those were our best picks. I know it wasn't. But if we can have a solid deal without giving up the core of our team to include Mitchell Robinson and Miles McBride, you know, maybe a sign-in trade or Precious Achiuwa in a few seconds, that wouldn't be bad. But if we could keep Precious Achiuwa, then I wouldn't complain about that. You know, he's a backup 4 and a backup 5. And then, you know, just go out and sign one of these veteran bigs. Let's see what happens, y'all. Like I said, we still have options, but we're just very limited. The young guys with potential that were there on the free agency are all gone now. So right now, in Leon Rose we trust. He's been making a lot of great moves, so let's just see what happens next. Comment down below who you guys think from this list the Knicks should sign. And if you don't think anybody in this list is valid enough, then comment down who you think would be nice. Maybe it's Taco Fall, maybe it's somebody else, who knows. But make sure y'all hit that like and sub button. I appreciate y'all for watching this video, and I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.